What would you do if you found out your 11-year-old son was evil incarnate? A complete psycho that takes pleasure in causing a 10-car pileup, murders a dog with a shot from his homemade crossbow, and worst of all, drowned his own baby brother in the bath, all because he stole his favourite rubber ducky. Well, we find out today in our 2 Limes and 11 podcast as we dive into our next Into the Woods movie, The Good Son.
Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some, like, a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
2 Limes and 11.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2 Limes and 11 podcast, where we look at movies from both the present and the past and dissect them to see if we like them or not. My name is Nat, and I'm one of the Limes, and I'm joined by my 2 co-hosts, Dave, our second Lime, and Danielle, our resident Lemon from across the pond. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Now, before we get into the movie itself, we'll do our usual What Have We Been Consuming segment. Now, this isn't just what we've eaten this week, although it can be, but what media have you been consuming? Books, film, TV, games, what has been your highlight of the week? Dave, we're going to start with you.
So I found a new recipe with potatoes because there's so many ways to cook those potatoes. So Instagram has been my go-to. I don't know why it keeps popping up on there, how to cook potatoes in different ways.
Probably because you looked it up once. And then the algorithm says, this guy likes potato recipes, and then keeps showing you more.
I don't remember ever looking up potato recipes, but it's popped up. And this one is, what do you do? You skin the potatoes, you chop them into slices, but not too thin. You put chopsticks down and you put them in between the chopsticks and you cut down with your knife so it creates little slits. You turn it over, you cut it again, doing it diagonal slices, and then you just put your spices and stuff, put a bit of corn flour on, or I don't know what you Americans call flour.
Cornstarch,
probably.
Yeah, it probably is the same thing.
Put a dabble of that in there, put some oil in a pan and cook it, and you get some nice crispy potato kind of wedges.
They're like a lattice, aren't they?
They were really nice. So that's what I recommend having a go. If I can do it, you can do it. So have a go.
I have a show that I've been watching. The finale is going to be on tonight, so I thought I would finally talk about it. It's called DTF St. Louis. It's on HBO right now, and from the title, I can imagine people are like, "Oh, what the hell is this show about? This is strange. I don't want to watch it." But I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a murder mystery with David Harbour from Stranger Things and Jason Bateman in it, and there's sort of this weird love triangle. But the thing that really, and the mystery is so twisty. We're going into the final episode, and I have no idea what actually happened. But the thing that I think keeps me watching is it's just like a little bit strange in the most fascinating way. Like the characters talk a little bit strange. The police investigations are in these like giant lobbies almost, with the characters sitting on 2 separate sides of the room. It's just it creates this really unique universe that these characters are in, and that that they think is completely normal. So highly recommend. I think it's only 7 episodes. And what? Oh, yeah, I told you about this one, Dave.
Yeah. It's the one you told me to watch, and I was like, maybe.
Dave doesn't watch series, do you, really?
No, not at all.
But you can binge it. All 7 episodes are going to be out, and you can binge the whole thing. 7 episodes is, fairly easily consumed. The Netflix model of doing like 8 episodes. It's in that range. Because then 10 episodes, this is a little bit too much. But, put it right under 10, people eat it right up.
Well, in contrast to that, this week I've been consuming a new Chinese drama series on Netflix called Pursuit of Jade.
Oh.
I've been seeing like so many clips on Instagram and it looks right up my alley. But in contrast to your 8 episodes, this has like 40 episodes, which is quite common for these sorts of dramas. I'm on like 8 or 9. Basically, it follows this butcher's daughter and her young sister. Their parents have been killed and they're trying to like fend for themselves in a town where everybody's like out to get them. One day she finds a body under the snow of this handsome young man, but he isn't dead, so she takes him home. He says that he's like a trade caravan escort that's been attacked by bandits, but that's a lie because he's actually like a fallen marquis. Without knowing his true identity, they're gonna enter like a strategic fake marriage to sort out their problems, but they're obviously going to fall in love at some point, so I'm enjoying it so far.
How many episodes are you in?
Like 9.
Okay.
So I've still got like 30 to go. And they're like 45 minutes long. So I'm in for the long haul here. This might be my consuming for the next few weeks.
What's it called again?
Pursuit of Jade.
Okay. And is it...
But I had another one that I finished called Love Game in Eastern Fantasy, which isn't one that rolls off the tongue, but I really enjoyed that one. So I've been looking for like another like drama series, and this one is good actually. I'm enjoying it.
Was that another 40 episode arc?
Yeah, I think that was like 35. They have a lot, but you know me, I like an epilogue. So when they're this long, it's like you're gonna have an epilogue.
Are these set in modern times or are these old timey?
Old-timey. Well, the first
Okay.
one was a girl from modern times that got sucked into like a book series that she was reading, and it became more like a computer game that she had to like win the affection of like one of the characters in it, otherwise it wouldn't progress any further. But then that sort of model kind of fell apart, and then it just became like she was kind of just in oldie worldy times. But this one is completely in like ancient China times.
And are these recent shows? Or are they...
Yeah, this one's like this year.
Okay. My Instagram algorithm is not feeding me either potato recipes or Chinese dramas.
Yeah, I don't know what we do with that Instagram. That's literally my only like, you should do this. All right then.
No, what I think is it throws out whatever, and then it notices that you pause on the Chinese drama, and then it's like,
yeah,
Chinese drama. The same with data and potatoes.
That's right. The thing is, I didn't find any potato things. It just popped up, and now it's
well, I know it just popped up, and then you watch it, and then
it's probably because it's listening to you.
More.
You probably mentioned potatoes at some point.
True.
Yeah.
You're probably like, I wonder what I could do with these potatoes, and then Instagram's all like, oh, I'll show you.
I do call my guinea pigs little potatoes. So
maybe.
That might be it.
That might be it. It might be sneaking Liu listening and being like, oh, he really likes potatoes. He's always talking to them. So, today's movie is part of our Into the Woods series, where we look at the filmography of Dave's favourite actor, Elijah Wood. We've made it to 1993 and a thriller/psychological drama, which is a genre that we haven't really seen from Elijah's filmography so far. If you haven't already seen the movie, then I suggest you go have a little watch. We managed to find it on cheap rental on Amazon Prime. How about you, Danielle?
In the US, it was free on Amazon Prime.
Oh, while you're searching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, follow on Spotify, join us on Instagram for any news, or come over to TikTok for our podcast highlights. So, the good son follows Mark, played by little Elijah, whose mom unfortunately passes of cancer at the beginning of the movie, and then his dad, who feels it's best for Elijah to get out of their home and the bad memories, ships him off to live with his aunt, uncle, cousin Connie, and spawn of Satan, cousin Henry. What seems like the perfect solution to Mark's grief soon takes a turn when cousin Henry keeps getting him roped into all sorts of nefarious plots, gaslighting all and sundry to make himself look like a little angel, leading to a dramatic ending scene on top of a cliff where Auntie Susan has to make the ultimate decision. As usual, has anyone seen The Good Son before?
I have not. I've only seen clips of it online of Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin dangling from a cliff with this poor woman has to decide which child actor to save. So I was very much intrigued to see how it got to that point. So yeah, it's first time watching for me, and yeah, it was something.
It was something. Yeah, I'm the same. Like the only thing I've ever seen of this was the Instagram clips of them all hanging over the edge.
I thought I had seen this before. When I knew we were going to be watching it, I also got those clips. And so I thought the moment that was like heavily clipped, which is the finale of the film, was earlier in the film. And so I confused it with this other film called The Other. And so the entire watch, The Other is about these twin boys, one's evil, one's good, and similar situations happen. And then in the end, it's a 1970s film. I don't remember it being especially good, so I don't feel bad spoiling it, but earmuffs if you don't want to hear the end of The Other. The spoiler is only one of them is alive. One of them had died previously. So I watched this entire film waiting for one of these two boys. Well, because in the clip we see that's all over Instagram, you see Macaulay Culkin die. And so I thought it was going to be that Macaulay Culkin wasn't real and Elijah Wood was imagining him the whole time. But I kept going, well, they're talking to him. I don't understand how this is going to work out.
My confusing part about watching, obviously, knowing the title of the movie, seeing that ending scene, I was like, oh, like she has to pick between one of her sons. But one of them's not even her son, so I don't know why it's called The Good Son.
Well, I mean, at some point, Elijah Wood's character makes this claim that he's now her mother. She is now his mother. Like, he wakes up in the middle of the night one night and sees her walking through the house and mistakes her for his mother. And then one of the confrontation scenes between him and Macaulay Culkin's character later on, he basically says, she's my mother now, too. So, maybe?
Maybe it's because it's like, it's a take on the, like, he's not the good son. He's pretending to be the good son, but really he's not. Like, I think the front cover is, like, the good son, and Macaulay Culkin's sitting there smiling, like, oh, he's Mr. Innocent, like Home Alone
like
guy.
A halo.
Yeah, like halo around his head, yeah. When really, in the reality of it is that he's not the good son. He is,
in fact, the worst son.
he's in fact the worst kind of human possible.
Introduction we get of Henry is him handing Mark the creepiest mask in the world.
Oh, when he introduces it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit in Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, the second one, where Michael Myers' character has gone into an asylum and starts, like, becoming even more into himself, and he just makes all these masks. They looked exactly like this thing that Macaulay Culkin has.
Like paper mache craft project.
I don't know. It's even creepier than that, because you can't see the newspaper. It's just like the mache.
See, mine started when they were climbing up the treehouse, which is like the tallest treehouse I've ever seen.
Oh,
like,
yes.
That is some bad parenting there, going, yeah, we'll just keep going till we get to the very top. It's like, no, find a smaller tree if you're going to do that. But it's when Elijah Wood sort of slips, and then Henry grabs him, and he's like, if I let you go, will you fly? Or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, I need to go tell your mum straight away that you're a psycho. It's like, oh, no, it's just kids playing games, and they sort of just mucking around. But I was just like, the intent of his face, though, was like, no, you're evil. And then from then on, I was like, okay.
The psychiatrist in this movie is rubbish anyway.
The aunt and uncle are kind of rubbish, too, for not, like, he's, like a 10-year-old boy or...
And he's going to see a psychiatrist on his own.
Yeah.
He does.
Like
nobody takes him there. I'm like, who's paying for it?
Right?
And then at one point she's like, oh, you're late. And I'm like, well, it's not really his responsibility to get to his psychiatry appointment on time.
Well, and then he misses the appointment and she just finds him. She tracks him down.
Yeah.
My question is, why wasn't Henry in therapy?
Well, after his baby brother died.
Well, just in general. Like, the way Macaulay Culkin plays this character is one note. Like, I think, for me, it would have worked better if he was Kevin McAllister when he's around his parents and his sister and, like, seems, fun and cutesy. And then whenever he's with Elijah Wood, he shows his true evil side. But he was just, like, one-note evil villain through the entire thing. Like, if I had a kid and they were just, like, giving me these droll responses
See,
to
I
things.
saw it more of the fact of the parents, obviously, they're kind of eaten up with their own grief about the baby brother that died. So they probably, like, given him a free pass, like parents do with kids, where they're like, oh, well, he's been through a tough time, so he's acting out a bit. And they're kind of just like, just allowing him to have his big feelings is like the buzzword, isn't it?
But he's not even having big feelings. He's walking around like a Bond villain, like snarling these like comments at them and giving them these like evil grins and things. Like definitely right into therapy.
I don't know. Do you think that Mark's dad was right to ship him off to the aunt and uncle's house?
Well, they had a whole situation about it that they tried to hand wave. Like, Mark's dad is in some sort of business, and he has to go over to make this big deal so that he'll never have to leave his son again, which I don't know what that... Like, is he usually away on very long business?
Yeah, because they originally... The film starts off in Mars, doesn't it? On the
it does. You're like Arizona or something.
Yeah, to give context, like the start of the film is just rocks, red rocks, nothing to see, some glorious mountains, I guess, but it was just constant this red rocks everywhere. And I was like, where are we? What's going on?
Oh yeah, it was very southwest.
Yeah, and then he gets transported into like this long ass kind of car journey from like rock to water to snow. It's like, where are you going? And oh, hello, aunt, I've not seen for 10 years. Like, worst relationship ever.
The aunt, was she the sister of his mum?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But why didn't she go to the funeral?
She lives on planet Earth and they live on Mars.
And also, like, when she was sick, like, you'd have thought that she'd have gone to see her or vice versa in that time period where she was sick, and he's like, well, I haven't seen you for like 10 years. So I'm like, they can't be very close.
Well, okay, possibly. I mean, they didn't explain this. This is me all using my own life to maybe interpret it. But maybe because their grief is still so ongoing, they couldn't bring themselves to deal with this additional...
Right.
grief. But it would lead me to believe that she was not that close. The two families are not that close. The area that they go to is an area that I lived in for a little bit after grad school, that New England area. I guess where the house was the town that I lived in for a little bit, and I would visit those other areas. I never saw those cliffs. That was something pretty amazing, and
it was a very pretty area.
Yes.
It probably looked more pretty without all the snow everywhere, but it was very pretty.
The snow makes it very pretty though too. The Mars scene that Dave is talking about, that kind of bookends the film, is just Mark standing on this like mesa, this like red rock in the middle of nowhere, and then at the end there's a voiceover. I thought that was really jarring and
when he goes back to his Mars planet.
Yeah. And also, like, he now considers this woman his mother, but, like, see you for another 10 years.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand why it's called The Good Son, because I'm like, she doesn't even stay there, so it's not even like she's adopted him or something. Maybe if his dad had died while he was going out and doing business and he had to stay there, then I could have accepted it, but I don't like the title. It makes no sense.
Okay, here's how I would have fixed it. The funeral happens, the aunt and uncle come to the funeral because that's normal. Mark's father is this guy who has to travel for business all the time, and so the aunt offers to take him in, like, permanently to grow up, and then, you know, when the father can get back to the States, he'll come and stay with them for a little bit. That's how I'd fix it. And then he is, like, now sort
their
of
son.
integrated
rather than
into
just
their
like,
family.
we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, so you're like an honorary son for 2 weeks.
I don't know if you guys caught this. The story was written by a second time Two Limes and a Lemon entry, Ian McEwan, who wrote Enduring Love. I don't think it's a book. I think it was probably just written for this.
Oh, that is unusual.
But before we move on, though, with those things, is in terms of releasing, didn't get released until later on in the UK.
Yeah.
And like Child's Play 3 was coming out and stuff like that. So all these kind of kid murder kind of stuff was very much like, oh, we don't want to show that at the cinema. And that's why they put it as an 18 as well. Because we was watching it, as like, how's this an 18? But due to when it came out, because it was kind of like they thought that young people would watch it. Or
They're copycats,
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many
copycats.
things in it that you don't want kids to see and think, that's a good idea.
We're going to do that too. Yeah, that's why it got a cut. So they cut out, do you know the... So they make that fake body and they throw it off the edge into
The
traffic.
bridge, yeah.
The bridge.
Mr. Highway.
Mr. Highway,
Yes.
yeah. So they cut majority of that out in the UK version. So because it thought it was gonna, if kids saw it on VHS, then they might go out and do the same kind of thing. Which, knowing the UK, yes, they probably would go and do something like that.
I mean,
just
let's
for
be honest,
fun.
in the UK, they just usually just throw rocks. They don't even bother with an elaborate, like
They would have got
body
the Guy
made
Fawkes,
out of
they would have
stuff.
got the Guy Fawkes guy that they make
V for
on
Vendetta.
Yeah. But so like the uncut version, which me and Nat watched, finally actually got released in 2002 when it was still an 18.
So a long time after it was made.
I looked it up. It was also rated R in the US.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a good few things in it that you don't want kids to kids going up to like the ages. Yeah, you wouldn't want a 15-year-old to see it because they'd still probably be like, "That's good." So,
do
like we
that,
said,
yeah.
he murders a dog with like a homemade crossbow. I mean, I suppose, especially the dog thing, that's usually like they say that serial killers hurt
Yes.
animals when they're children. So presumably if Macaulay Culkin had lived at the end of it, like his character Henry would have grown up to be like a Jeffrey Dahmer sort of. I mean, he tries to kill his mum just before we've got the traffic pile up. He tries to kill his sister by throwing her onto thin ice when they're ice skating.
Whipping her into the thin ice area. He has a
Yeah.
full-on murder shed. He has like a doll and a noose in the, like, I don't know if anybody else in that household uses that shed, but he has this shed where he makes his, the steampunk
Contraptions.
crossbow and whatnot, and he has hidden the rubber duck. So he has like 2 sanctuaries, or 3. He has his room, he has this murder shed, and then he has the dangerous tree house.
I was going to say 4. I add the well to that because he seems to have
Oh, yeah.
all of
the
his
well.
evidence down the well in this
The
graveyard.
little like rubber duck and dog are still down that well
Yeah.
to this day.
Well, who knows how many animals are piled up in that well?
Yeah,
The
I mean, the
stink,
rubber duck
yeah.
did make me laugh because I was like, it's gonna fall down there and then it's just gonna be like bobbing around. Also, the dog is gonna become like Samara from The Ring because it's like, is it even fully dead before it went down there?
Any dog murder in a film makes me so angry, and that was the thing that threw me over, that he was the evilest, not him killing his little brother.
No, the thing is, we didn't see him kill his little brother. We just heard about it. Whereas the dog one, we were there for it.
Yeah, I was like, maybe Richard deserved it. I don't know.
He did take the rubber ducky after all. What one would you say was like, he's gone too far? I mean, obviously the brother one was before we came into it,
Yeah,
and that was
probably
obviously
that,
the one
yeah.
that went too far. But out of the ones we saw,
I don't know really, because I think if the film itself, I think maybe it's just because it's a 90s movie, it doesn't feel realistic enough. It feels quite hammy and over the top. So like if this was done nowadays, I think it would be a bit more, I don't know if they would have done it a bit more
more like
realistic.
serious.
Serious, yeah. It
Yeah.
felt very like,
Yeah.
time to kill someone else now. Who will I find in the yeah, he's sort of going around murdering people. Yeah. it
Like
felt-
when the aunt and uncle leave and he like turns the lights off before they've even got out the driveway to
like
like
so
terrorize
silly.
everyone.
Yeah, too much.
Oh, there was a scene where it's in the hide and seek scene, and he finds him, and then he says something creepy, and Elijah Wood walks off, and then he sits in there and he hums to himself. I can't remember what it was, like Camptown Races or something, like dun, 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 and just
Yeah.
like moving the flashlight around in the
no.
dark.
Oh yeah. I just was like, nah, it's not working for me.
No, for me, it was all the Macaulay Culkin performance. I think he was
Yeah.
one note. I think if he had been convincing as like fooling everybody, and then whenever he's around Mark and he suddenly shows his true side, I thought that would have been legitimately creepy. At the end, I was like slightly more on board because it really became like Bond villain. Like there was a scene that was just like crazy line after crazy line. Macaulay Culkin says, "Your mom's maggot food." and then Mark shoots back at him that, this is where he said, "She's my mother now." And then Macaulay deadpan looks at him and says, "Mark, don't fuck with me."
Yeah, that was it.
There's a line near the end where they're having their final confrontation that he's got a knife to Mark's throat, and he says he's gonna jam it in.
Yeah.
So like That kind of villainry stuff I thought was kind of camp and fun, but whenever there was no artifice in the real world, like it just seemed like why do these people not see what everybody sees? That this,
especially the psychiatrist, I'm like,
she was terrible. Yeah.
Obviously, Henry goes to her to try and like gaslight that Mark's the bad one, basically. And if she's meant to be like trained in her job, but like she should be able to see through like an 11-year-old child's master plot. Like I feel like that should have been a given, that she's like, yeah, okay then, but then secretly like she'd be to Mark like, yeah, don't worry, like I'm on your side. I can see that he's like a sadist.
I was hoping that she got killed off for her stupidity. I thought she was going to get like, Mark was going to run back home and then like she was going to go, oh, would you like a drink of water, little psycho child? And then like go get something, and then he like drops something on her head or something and she collapses. He makes it look like a heart attack or something. I don't know.
Oh my god.
He defibrillates.
It's like, and also
there's
that scene where he answers the phone to Mark's dad and he's like, is he there? He's like, no, I don't know where he is. Like, surely if you were Mark's dad, you'd be like, I'm going to call back in like 5 minutes and see if anyone else is there that I can speak to.
Yeah.
But the movie tells us that everybody is
a fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, all the adults and even the little sister are blind to how evil this kid is. And it was like they were telling us that, but I couldn't see it.
Well, I think with the little sister, especially Connie, he had terrorized her before they went ice skating, like countless times. And then it's like she basically slept with Elijah Wood on her floor because he was trying to protect her from him. And then he wakes up and she's gone ice skating with him. I'm like, what? Like, why?
Why didn't they wake up Mark to go ice skating?
Yeah, screw Mark. He's not actually part of the family, so he can just sleep on the floor.
I want to touch upon the ice skating scene. So Henry and Connie are out skating, and Mark is like, something wrong is going to happen. And he has to, like, run through the most crowded ice skating pond in the world. It's just like, it just takes so long. Like, the scene is amping up with Macaulay Culkin going faster and faster, and Mark is like, 100 more people I have to get through, all playing hockey and skating.
He falls over like 10 times on the way there as well.
And then she gets into the thin ice, doesn't scream when she plops into the cold water, and everybody runs and stands off to the side watching as Macaulay
They let
Culkin,
11-year-old try and save his sister rather than any adults trying to be like, actually, we'll be very careful getting across this ice, but we will get there. They just wait.
Yeah,
and he's not grabbing for her. He's just like holding his hand above the hole in the ice.
It's like everybody's watching. Somebody should be like, wait a minute, he's not saving her. He's making it worse.
Made me wonder, does everybody in this town, are we also supposed to believe everybody just thinks Henry is like the best kid in the world? They're like, that's
what
Henry.
A good lad.
He's going to save
what a
his
good
sister.
Son. What a good...
He doesn't talk to me like a Bond villain.
Do you think that Mark handles the situation well, or could he gone about it a different way? Obviously, he tries to tell people, but he does my favourite thing in movies, which is scream, like, why aren't you listening to me? He's mad. Like, rather than having like a civil conversation with people and being like, this happened and this happened, like laying out the facts, he goes to the like psychotic break straight away.
I mean, as a kid, kids don't like go for rational discussion of things.
Yeah.
You know, just think of like tattling. Tattling is all like, oh, he did this and no, you didn't see it.
Yeah, but when you're saying like he murdered somebody and he's done all these horrible things, that's not really tattling.
I think the film does show that he tells the person he trusts the most, which is his aunt, and she just slaps him for it. So
And it's great. That was a great
scene.
scene.
She wallops him.
Yeah.
She like hauls back and smacks him in the head.
yeah, so like
Dare.
he's probably like, oh, I've gone about that the wrong way, or I've got mistrust. No one's going to believe me, so he's going to just be hysterical. I think his dad believes him because his dad's like, okay, I'm coming home, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he believes him, but he's just like, there's obviously a situation happening.
Well, they all turn it into Mark going through trauma from his mom dying. It's not that anything real has happened. It's just, we got to help this poor traumatized child. Ignoring our own trauma because everybody in this film is a little bit traumatized.
Well, yeah. I mean, even down to the fact that Macaulay Culkin makes up a lie that Mark wants to sleep in the bedroom of their dead sons.
Yes.
And there's a really awkward scene at the table where Henry and Mark are having this kind of argument. Then the mum and the dad start having an argument where the dad's like so unsympathetic. And he's like, yeah, I think we should like, you know, get over your grief now and let somebody else sleep in our dead son's bedroom. That really was like the only like input that the uncle even had.
One of the things that we found out that was a bit like why was the picture of the little baby. It's got he's in like in a bathrobe. It's like got the duck there. So it's like just a reminder how the child died. It's in the bathroom. Yeah, it's like here's a picture of the bathroom. It's like, was this taken on the day it happened?
On the day.
We better leave that as a memory.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
the picture that he drops on the floor is like the baby in the bath.
Do people have photographs in their bathroom? That seems awfully strange to me.
No, the picture's on the piano, I think it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the baby's in the bath in the photo.
Okay, I thought that's real dark to have a picture of the kid where he died in his
like a shrine.
Yeah, like a shrine.
Yes.
Do you think Macaulay could have been spared?
No, the fact that he tried to kill his mum, yeah, he had to get thrown off. He was like, even in his final moments, he was trying to manipulate his mum. He was like, Mum, I love you. You have to save me, Mum. He weren't even like, help me, Mum, like really going for it. He was just like, yeah, Mum, you got to save me. Come on. Like, you don't want to save him.
Drop him.
I'm your son. I love you.
That was the longest decision making, though. Like, she nearly lost both of them, like, trying to decide. It reminded me of the intro to Until Dawn, where you have to decide if you're gonna let the sister fall or save her. I was like, this needs that timer where you have to do the quick time event to save one of them, because this is taking too long.
The good son, the game. I mean, obviously she's gonna take a longer time deciding. I mean, it is hard, isn't it? Like, one of them is your son, and although he's a psycho, he's still your son, whereas the other one, although he's nice.
But you've just come from your son trying to murder you. Like,
yeah, but also she's already got a dead kid. Like, all eyes are going to be on this woman after this event.
Yeah, but it's very clear that I wanted to talk about that briefly. She falls, he pushes her off the cliff. And then she does this, like, miraculous cliff climb to get back up. That was so unbelievable. But, I mean, at that point, I'm like, oh, is it? I don't think he's savable if I have to make this choice.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough. He delivers every line like a complete villain. And just to put it into context, this was, like, in the middle of the height of Macaulay Culkin's fame. He had done Home Alone in 1990, followed it up the next year with My Girl, and then apparently his father would not allow him to do Home Alone 2 unless they also got to do this film. So I think they were trying to sort of
break out of the kiddie mold.
Yeah, and I think because of that, again, me just assuming things, it seemed like he didn't turn on the charm and the kind of cute kid that he was known for in the other scenes. But then he did this in Home Alone 2 in 92, and then, or this was 93 maybe, and then 94 he did Richie Rich, and then he disappeared from the limelight until 2003 when he did the movie Party Monster, which also, like, he made enough money that he didn't have to fully be acting all the time, and it's still,
why not?
I don't think he has to act anymore. He does, just like little
roles that he wants to. Well, I just watched him in like the new Fallout series. He's good in that.
Oh,
right. So that brings us to our ratings overall. Now, for the Elijah Wood series, we've been doing a little Elijah's performance rating, but I thought as it's a very like a duo of children, we'll do Elijah's performance and Macaulay Culkin's performance as a rating. A battle of the child actors. So, Dave, you go first.
Well, yeah, Elijah, great, much better than Macaulay Culkin. I felt he was real, but he's been good. Yeah, he's still got, again, he's getting better, but he felt more realistic than Macaulay Culkin. So I'm going to give him, let's give him a 3. Macaulay Culkin gets like a 2. I think he was like, I'm going to be, like Danielle, you said, like he's a Bond villain. He shouldn't have been a Bond villain because it needs to be a bit more realistic. If it was played better, I reckon this film could have been a lot darker.
How about you, Danielle?
I'm going to give Elijah Wood a little bit better, and I'll give him a 4. I thought he did well with what he was doing, but I also agree Macaulay Culkin was a 2.
Well, I gave Elijah a 3 because I hate it in movies. More for the like character, I think, is a freak, because I hate him when they try to get people to believe him and they're just like hysterical, and that just really irks me when I watch films. I gave Macaulay a 4 because you know what? He was so like a camp villain. I loved his part. Like he had all the best lines. Like you know that those are lines from the trailer. They're like so memorable. They're so like panto villain. I thought he was great. So who was your favourite character?
None of them really. I'm going to say the rubber duck. The rubber duck.
Just bobbing around in the bottom of the well.
Yeah, he causing all. Well, technically, it was the rubber duck that made the mum realise. So if it weren't for the rubber duck,
but it was also the rubber duck that got the baby brother killed because he took it from Macaulay.
It's the catalyst that everybody needs to know about. Don't buy anyone rubber ducks. Just that's why you don't see them anymore because of this movie.
How about you, Danielle? Have you thought of one?
Yes, my favorite character was Mr. Highway.
Oh my god.
That was the most genuinely creepy thing in the film.
Yep.
It just looked like a psychopath created it.
Well, I went for the aunt because I thought that she was going through her own grief. She still agreed to take in a child, and she made the ultimate sacrifice when push came to shove. She wasn't selfish. Worst character, I went for the Uncle Wallace, because he doesn't support the wife at all, and he says it's okay for somebody to sleep in his dead child's bedroom, even though the mom's clearly not ready for it.
I would say Mark's dad is my least favorite, just because it's strange to me that David Morse, who is like a pretty well-known actor even back then, is barely in this film and completely an absent father, especially right after his wife has died and his son is dealing with, you know, a wife who's been suffering for a while and died, and then he's like, see ya, off on business.
Oh, honorary mention to the psychiatrist as well.
I was just about to say that.
The most I'm going to go with that
psychiatrist.
One. I'll go with the psychiatrist. I think my worst was psychiatrist, just because she's like, does she live in a lighthouse? I don't know. She lives
pretty much. Like the same one from the end of Forever Young.
She's like, I'm staying here. I've got lighthouse duties. I'm an older lady, so I can just listen to people's problems and not really know how to handle them. She doesn't actually help. Yeah. She's there to say,
I'll just listen.
I'm here to listen. I'm here to help you, but doesn't actually offer any advice or anything.
No.
Yeah, just a bit bad. Yeah.
So that brings us to our overall ratings of the movie. Who would like to go first?
I think this has been a completely dismal set of 3 Into the Woods films we've done. I have been completely disappointed with all 3 of these, and this is going to continue my streak with another 2 rating.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest,
enough
has
made,
it?
But
it's the 90s. This bit, he's kind of like, we're done with the cutesy kind of kid act now. We want to see something more impressive. So, I'm not very. I mean, out of the 3,
this has been the best one.
This one has been the best one. So I'll give it a 2.5.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I really enjoyed this one. I think it was funny. I mean, I know it wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to be serious.
Yeah, it's an 18.
Watching it as a comedy, it's hilarious, and I really enjoyed it. Maybe I'm just a wrong un, but I just thought it was hilarious that you got like these little kid actors that you're so used to seeing as like the cutesy kid actors be like horrible.
You know what, my recommendation is, if you want to see something like this, there's an older film that's been remade several times called The Bad Seed, which is about a little girl who is sort of Macaulay Culkin's character in this, and I think that is a better version of The Good Son.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you for coming along with us. We're heading out of the woods finally. It feels like it's been a long run this time. And we're going to be heading into a new category of podcast movies, which is our 6 Degrees of Separation films, which the first one is still to be decided. So that's a bye from me.
See you on Wednesday. See you next Wednesday. Bye.
Goodbye.